Welcome everyone to Session B. I am Daisy Gonzalez, and this session will feature six wonderful Family Studies interns. Let's start with a bit of housekeeping. This session is being recorded, and we ask that all participants keep both your audio and your video off during the presentation portion of this session. This will protect bandwidth and hopefully prevent potential issues with lagging. We have several great internships to hear about, so let's get started. Our featured intern presenters are Jamisha Moulton, intern at Communities and Schools at Southeast Texas, Adeline Melican, intern at Buckner Children and Family Services in Beaumont, Angela Dennis, intern at Amarillo Independent School District, Emily Garcia, intern at Barbers Hill Early Childhood Center in Barbers Hill, Texas, Nicolette Hamilton, intern at the Resiliency Think Tank at Lamar University, Samantha Strong, intern at Deer Park Independent School District in Deer Park, Texas. We'll begin by viewing the video reports they have prepared for us, followed by a Q&A where we will be able to ask focused questions about their specific internship experiences.
Hi, my name is Jamisha Mouton, and I was
Perfect, thank
intern
you.
at Communities and Schools Southeast Texas. Where I was stationed was Booker T. Washington. My supervisor was Miss Jennifer and Miss Washington. My site coordinator was Miss Cassandra Livingston. While I was at Booker T. Washington, I was under the administration of Miss Harrison, which is the principal, Miss Franklin, the AP, and Miss Benson, which is the counselor. Booker T. Washington is located in Port Arthur, Texas, on the west side, under the superintendent of Dr. Mark Porter. CIS is community school. It helps kids stay focused, help them with a support system, and just help them throughout the schools and life lessons. CIS helps all the schools that partner with CIS. Some schools do partner, some don't. Some pull out, some pull in. Every year they can put in a request if they do not want to be a part of CIS or if they do want to be a part of CIS. Communities in School provides food, clothes, mental support, mental health counselors, along with the site coordinators. My site coordinator, Ms. Cassandra Livingston, we did tier ones, tier twos, and tier threes. Tier ones is when we go into the classroom and we give one on one, pull kids into small groups, and assist with their teachers or the coach or anything we do. Tier twos were her case managed students along with other students. So it's not just her case managed, we helping both sides of the kids. Her tier threes were just her case managed kids. Also, I learned how to do surveys. Surveys are just questions that we ask the kids. Is a smiley face, a straight face, or a mad face for elementary. I read it to them and then I score it and put it in their folders. In their folders is personal information, it's their mental health, their grades, their report cards, their parents' contact information. Also, they had monthly deadlines. Monthly deadlines is folders, surveys, making sure all the kids get their services, which the services are like tutoring, mental health, make sure they get clothes, make sure they have food, snacks, and anything that we can support. Also, they had deadlines that goes along with that, and the deadlines usually is once a month. The first Wednesday of every month, they'll go to Beaumont to the CIS coordinator, all of Southeast Texas, and they get together and make a plan and strategy for what's next. The monthly calendars are due at the first of the month. This is where they put the activities, the days off they want, the activities we're going to do. For example, for April, we made butterflies. For Earth Day, we're taking the kids on a field trip to Port Arthur's Plant Museum on the west side. They also get to plant plants, flowers, and vegetables. Along with that, we made little heart-shaped plates, got some green paint, some blue, some earthy, and we just let them go for what they know, let them have fun while we did a poster board and also took pictures with the counselor from the poster board, which is on one of my PowerPoints. So that is also one thing. We also do incentives. So I will go and I will read different books from kindergarten to second grade, they will take their AR points. If they make 100, they'll get like a bag of chips or a juice or a mini bluebell ice cream for lunch. If they make anything above a 67, they'll get a piece of candy. Anything below a 67 for elementary is considered failing. Also, with the surveys, each school is required to have a minimum of 85 kids. The 85 kids is broken out into three parts: 20 students the first time, 25, and then 35. Ms. Livingston has always told me to aim for 95, 100, just in case one person leaves, you don't have to find another child. That void is already filled because you are already over max capacity. With CIS, I learned a lot of things. That first, although these are elementary kids, they do have mental issues. They do go through things at home. It's very stressful, so they just need someone to be there, support them, let them know they love them, give them the right guidance, redirect, whether it's just pulling them out, giving them a hug, tell them everything's gonna be okay. Um, Working with Miss Lewiston has been an eye changer. I would love to work for CAS. I have applied. She has showed me so many great things within the CIS coordinator, along with Miss Reese, who is the director, and Miss Jennifer. Everything is just so nice, so sweet. The kids love them. The parents love them. They also gave out free meals during spring break to make sure the kids had something to eat. Also during the days, Miss Livingston, she maybe have pizza for the kids. She maybe have ice cream parties, just to say, hey, we're here, we support you. Even though they're not taking STAR tests, they do take little CBAs during the week. So we go around to different rooms and drop off little goodie bags. And we also drop off goodie bags to the teachers to let them know, hey, we know it's stressful, but we're here to help. We're here to assist. If they need just a breather, we'll step in the classroom for 30 minutes, just letting kids some fresh air. So CIS does not just help kids, it supports the school as a whole as well. And I also want to give a thanks to CIS and Dr. White for placing me with CIS. I love my experience. It was great. Learned so much. It's a lot to take in, but it's very worth it and it's very, very, very needed within our school districts. So I just want to say thank you and I hope I get to partner with CIS again. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adeline Milliken and I'm a Level 4 intern with Buckner Children and Family Services. An overview of my internship. I engaged in meaningful work to support children and families in need. I also assisted parent educators in facilitating our group connections. What our group connections consisted of were families that are currently enrolled in our programs would show up to our event for a couple of hours and we provided free food and drinks. Then we would have an educational resource for the families and their children. At the end of the event, we would raffle off prizes. I then got to observe home visits, gaining insight into real life family challenges local to Southeast Texas. Additionally, I strengthened my communication and leadership skills through active participation. A day in the life at Buckner. I would arrive at the facility and check in at the front desk. From there, I would go and talk to the program manager and see what she had for the day and if there was anything she needed me to do. After that, I would go and talk to our parent educators and see what visits they had for the day and what type of visits they were doing. I would then see with the parent educators what planning guides they were doing and what goals they had specifically within their family and how they were going to use the curriculum to achieve those goals. After that, I would go and talk to our fatherhood specialist and see if they had any classes or one-on-ones for the week. From there, I would go on the visit with the parent educator and see how they are using the curriculum with the children in person. I got to see firsthand how the children are succeeding within the program. After that, I would go back to the facility and assist with any tasks as needed to provide support to the staff. Strategic Plan Objective. Empower families through engagement and support initiatives. Outcome. Improved access to essential services for families and strengthen connections among enrolled participants. Metrics used. collaborate with staff to analyze enrollment numbers and resources being used. We would have meetings with all of the staff of the HOPES program and the Fatherhood Specialist program, and we would go over the clienteles that they currently have and the referrals of potential clients as well. So that would give an outcome of the families that we are serving and what ways we can use our resources to bring in more families to help. Lab Artifact Highlight Trifold Brochure. This brochure captures the Buckner Children and Family Services colorful designs as well as the children on the brochure. It contains important information about Buckner services and locations all across the world. It also gives detail about Camp Buckner, which is a big event that they host. As well, it provides contact information for easy access to resources and support. Additionally, it utilizes easy to read fonts and layouts for accessibility. Lab Artifact Highlight Live Event or Easter Celebration Egg Hunt. This artifact features the Easter Bunny playing games with the children, creating joyful moments for them. As well, it captures the experience of me drawing a child with chalk, enhancing creativity and play. As well, it lists the raffle prizes for all the children that participated, showing extra incentive for participation. This highlights community involvement and partnership opportunities with Buckner. Reflection I gained practical experience in community service and child advocacy. I also observed impactful home visits that highlight family needs, as well enhanced understanding of program development and implementation. I reflected on my personal growth and professional development opportunities through networking and all the people I met through family outreach. It also deepened my commitment to making a positive impact in lives. Acknowledgement. I sincerely want to thank Cynthia Edmondson, Hopes and Fatherhood Effect Program Manager, for her guidance and support throughout my internship. She always greeted me with a warm welcome and a smile. She additionally always asked if there was anything I needed help with and told me that she always wanted me to have something to do so I can learn and gain from this experience throughout my internship. I sincerely appreciate her dedication to the Hopes and Fatherhood program at Buckner.
My name is Angela Dennis. I completed my internship in 2025 with Amarillo ISD at the TAC program. The TAC program is an 18 plus program for young adults who have graduated high school with disabilities. This program teaches those young adults with learning disabilities the independence that they need to be able to be successful in life. These skills that they are learning are life skills, such as cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, budgeting, things of that nature. But it also teaches them work skills and job skills. A lot of students are able to be employed once they go through this training and learn the skills that they need. It also teaches them social skills and how to be in the community. Um, and how to set up transportation or how to do regular things that most people take for granted. And I have hands on experience with that aspect of it. But the part that I wasn't so sure about is the resources. There are so many resources for these students that I don't think the parents even know about until they reach our program. So, of course, there's medical resources, there's day habs, there's assistant livings, there's work assistant. So, there's programs in the community that will go and be that support system that their child might need to be able to have employment and to earn their own income. There's also transportation. There's the ACT, there's Panhandle Community Service, there's lots of different things that go into it like that also. We also do a thing at TAC that's called person centered planning. And person centered planning are things that parents don't always think about. Who's going to take care of their children? How are they going to live? Who are they going to live with? Will they go to a day hab? Will they go to assisted living? How do you get on a wait list for those? Those are all things that parents don't always think about that our program helps with. So for my favorite two artifacts that I did is I did a list of resources for parents that goes anywhere from education to medical, camps, transportation, all sorts of things like that. So I went through and all of the resources in Amarillo that are able to help their students and that fit in that age criteria 18 to 22. So I came up with a list for that. Um, and there's also a TAC tour. So our program has students from all of the high schools in Amarillo, and they get to come see what a day is like at TAC. So they get to do all the different activities that we do in a day and kind of see what it's like. And it's a lot different from high school because there's more freedom, it's more independent based. And we don't really teach the academic skills. But they also get to come socialize and make new friends, and that's really good for our young adults with disabilities. My reflection from TAC is how successful these students can be and how many resources there are and how surprised the parents are when they come and do meetings and they figure out, oh, my student or my child can do all these things. They are so shocked. And at the end of the day, it is just because we implemented the resources that were already into place and we just took the time to help those students get where they need to be. My thank you goes out to Jessica Hathaway. Um, she is the supervisor for the TAC program and does so much more than that. Um, but I just wanted to thank her for showing me what the opposite side of the hands on part is, where the resources come into play, how much work goes into that, how much work goes into finding um, job opportunities for these students to do even just internship work, putting the program together, putting um, resources in place even for the parents to understand what they can do as parents to help their students be more successful. So I just wanted to give a big thank you to her for everything that she showed me and that I can help my students in the future with.
Hi, my name is Emily Garcia. I was an intern at Barbers Hill Early Childhood Center and I was a family event assistant coordinator. Overview would be planning events around student success, planning events for family to feel included and see that student success and help families succeed as well. Help run Eagle Market for families in need of food and clothes. Day in the life, I chose to talk about a food drive that we did because each day was very different depending on the event that we did. Um, and so this day, I arrived before drop off in the morning and created bins and helped make sure that those were organized correctly. Um, During drop off, when the parents would drop off their child for the school, that child would bring in um, any of the food items that we needed. And that just allowed the child to be able to kind of earn success through community help. It was gave them a chance to feel like they were doing something for the community and see the impact that they of them helping and just bringing the food could really do. After that, after all the food was collected, we organized the bins and put the food in the correct bins so that whenever we did transport that, it was a smooth transition. And then at the end of the day, we met up with my supervisor and discussed next events, fun things planned, um, and just kind of what our next week looked like. Um, my internship goal was to create a strong understanding of student success through event planning, and I feel like I was able to do that because there was an array of things that we did, and that I was able to see those students um, grow and see all the amazing ways that we were able to have fun with creating goals for students and letting them kind of work as a classroom. Their hallway would work together. We had a kinder kindness month, so each week and day we had something different for them to do and to accomplish, and so that was pretty fun to see. And also, another objective would be the learning leadership skills and aid in community growth. I feel like that I was able to learn leadership skills through the team that I worked with, and I was able to sit in on team meetings and see how um, those leadership skills being implemented did have a successful rate as far as leading and having the team follow. Um, that was a really cool thing to be a part of as well. I created this flyer as one of my artifacts for the food drive. Um, and so preparing for the food drive, helping community food bank, and allowing students to participate in giving. So this gave, like I said, the chance for students to be engaged in our community help and success. Um, and it was really fun to see the little kindergartners coming in with their foods. They were so excited. The next artifact that I created was an email out to families, creating an event for parents to be included in their child's festivities, giving clear expectation, and allowing time to prep for child and family success. So this made it able to where families were able to come and be a part of their child in their schooling um, party, and having this information in times was able to help flow not only parents with their child, but also us as a team for volunteers and teachers involved as well. Reflection through my internship, learned how much school impacted the community, seeing a team come together and meet for their students, building strong relationships within the school. It was amazing. Acknowledgement to Fatima Gonzalez. She's the principal there. Thank you so much for your support and mentorship through the semester. You've taught me how to be a leader, and for students and families that it really does matter. You're an amazing role model, not only for the students, but for the staff that followed you. Thank you so much for everything.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicolette Hamilton. I'm excited to share my experience as a resiliency student intern working with Lamar University's Center for Resiliency, specifically with a think tank team. Over the course of this internship, I've had the opportunity to grow both professionally and personally. And today I'll walk you through what I've learned and accomplished. My internship was a blend of research, outreach, leadership, collaboration, and innovation. I worked on several different projects focused on community resilience, especially in populations facing adversity. This included gathering and analyzing data, participating in outreach efforts, and working with a diverse team of students and professionals from fields like engineering, business, and family studies. Each of these experiences helped me to build critical skills in problem solving, communication, and leadership. A typical day as an intern involved managing delegated projects, collaborating with my peers, and attending biweekly check ins with the Resiliency Think Tank team. I contributed outreach materials like flyers, brochures, conducted literature reviews, and participated in training webinars especially around the issues of homelessness. These daily responsibilities allowed me to actively engage in the think tank's mission of advocacy and resilience building. A major highlight of my internship was learning something new, and that was working on the IRB process, the Institutional Review Board. I completed the necessary IRB training and the CITI certification in order for me to conduct ethical research involving human subjects. My objective was to help develop a grant focused program that empowers grassroots organizations within the Southeast Texas area. And understanding how the IRB process was a very critical step in being able to accomplish this. Through this, I learned how to structure research projects, gather necessary documentation, articles, literature reviews, and to prioritize ethical standards in every phase of it. I was involved in so many amazing projects and created many artifacts that I would love to share with you all today. But the two most important artifacts I'm most proud of are my CITI certification and my literature review poster that was about unseen wounds of grief and trauma of women that are in marginalized spaces. This artifact, the CITI training, helped me to understand the importance of ethical guidelines and human subjects research, ensuring participant safety and data integrity. This training will allow me for participation in human-based needs assessment projects and interviews in the future. The second artifact is my literature review poster. It's related to mental health and women in marginalized spaces. The artifact came from a place of cultural humility and advocacy, and my desire to be able to address the unseen wounds of grief and trauma that women experience in marginalized spaces. I conducted a literature review to shed light on the emotional burdens that are often overlooked, and I wanted to propose advocacy strategies based on my findings for those specific needs. I was able to present my poster during a visit to the Samaritan Inn located in McKinney, Texas. I was very impressed with this organization and their staff, along with their facility. The Samaritan Inn provides transitional housing for those that are experiencing homelessness. Not only do they offer food and shelter for those individuals, but they also incorporate job and career assistance to find stable work. They help financial training to help their residents learn how to budget and improve their credit. And they offer family care services as well as mental health and counseling services. Both of these artifact projects really strengthen my ability to use research as a tool for awareness and change. And reflecting on my internship, it's amazing that I have learned so much in this short amount of time. I've learned how to challenge myself and strengthen myself in ways that I didn't feel was possible. The internship gave me a deeper understanding of culture humility, which is a very humbling lesson, and it is essential in advocacy work. I came into the internship with the understanding that I didn't really have prior experience with that, but now I am confident that I have the tools to be able to engage in ethical, impactful research and to have a strong foundation for future work in community resilience and social justice. Finally, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Dr. Janelle White. Her mentorship transformed my experience. She not only challenged me, but she also inspired and supported me every step of the way. Her guidance taught me how to be a better researcher, an advocate, and professional, as well as to have confidence in my abilities. And I am incredibly grateful for her role within my internship journey. Thank you all for listening. This internship has been an unforgettable part of my academic path, and I am excited to take what I've learned into my future endeavors.
Hi, my name is Samantha, and my internship was with Deer Park Independent School District. I didn't really have a specific title, but my primary focus was on transition resources for students with disabilities and their families. So, for the sake of requiring a title, I have dubbed myself the Transition Resource Intern. An overview of what being a transition resources intern looks like is a lot of researching. I spent a lot of time researching local agencies and resources for people with disabilities. I made several documents that summarize and categorize the information I found and held events to try to get the information out there to individuals with disabilities and their families. This opportunity to serve the disability community and their families has helped me grow a lot professionally. Day in the life. So, like I just mentioned, I spent a lot of time researching local resources. Validating the accuracy of information was very tedious and time consuming. I had to check website links, call phone numbers, make sure that resources still even existed. Some stuff, like programs end and run out, and You got to make sure that we're aware of that. Once I made sure the information was correct, I could update it if need be or create a new document. I also took over Parents Helping Parents. It's a monthly meeting for families of students with disabilities. I would schedule the presenter, create the flyer that would be sent home, and then make sure the meeting ran smoothly. So my internship goal were to gain knowledge and experience so that I can better serve individuals with disabilities and their families. So my primary objective was to become more aware and knowledgeable of the transition resources that exist for people with disabilities and share those resources with families. The outcome is that I did increase my knowledge of resources that exist. And I was able to create documents that make information regarding those resources easier to share and have meaningful interactions with families regarding these resources. So the first project I would like to share is a document I created regarding Medicaid waiver interest lists. Medicaid waivers are a great resource for people with disabilities. However, here in Texas, there's like a ridiculously long wait time to receive the benefits of Medicaid waivers, like 20 years. So I created this document to share the importance of getting on this wait list as soon as possible. I tried to keep it super simple, printer friendly, and it is accessible on the district's transition resource webpage. The district's transition resource webpage. Let me turn these off. Okay. So this is probably, or no, this is most definitely the project that I am most proud of. This web page was so overwhelming. It had a lot of bad links, really outdated brochures, just information regarding programs that don't even exist anymore. I think Lighted Up Texas was something that was on there. That's a program that ran from, I want to say, 1999 to 2016. It helped families with disabilities pay for their light bills. It was a really great program, but ran out of funding in 2016 and doesn't exist anymore. Um, so to make the website a little less overwhelming, I wanted to make sure that only the most important resources were on this page. Like if you're not connected with these agencies, then all of the other ones are not going to be able to help you. So I made sure like SSI, Medicaid waiver, waitlist information, Texas Workforce Commission, Texas Workforce Solutions, things like that. You need to connect with these people to be able to have access to more resources. Okay, this one was a lot of fun. I came up with this idea of hosting an event that takes place outside of hours that we regularly do. My supervisor was completely on board. I found a location that was open to me giving out information for disability resources. Made a flyer to go home. Loaded up all my brochures and documents that I created. Um, and it was a lot of fun. The families that attended were very appreciative of my time and the information I shared with them. So was a really good time. Reflecting on what I've learned from my internship, having accessible, current, and accurate information regarding resources available in the community is so important. It can be really discouraging for someone who's looking for help and all they're finding is outdated information and doesn't get them anywhere. So for a really long time, I was like, oof, someone really needs to fix this web page. Like it needs help. So being able to be that someone felt really good. Um, let's see. This whole experience has really just affirmed my passion for serving people with disabilities. My daughter was diagnosed with autism when she was 3, and that's when I kind of just dived into the disability community head first. And I just want to make the world an easier and better place for her and all people with disabilities. Um, Finally, I would like to just take a moment to acknowledge and thank my wonderful supervisor, Stephanie Rayner, for being just so open minded and supportive and allowing me to take on this role in order to gain knowledge and experience with serving families with disabilities and my future career.
Wow, great video reports. Now it's time to open up for a Q&A with the interns. Interns, please turn on your camera so that we can see you. And we ask that all attendees keep your cameras off for the duration of the session so that we can focus on the interns. We also ask that all attendings, you leave your microphones off unless you are asking a question. This will help keep any unexpected sounds from distracting the rest of the session. If you do have a question for one of the interns, please use the raise hand feature and I will call on you to ask your question. The raise hand is found in the meeting toolbar to the left of the red leave button. You can also raise your hand by clicking Control Shift and K at the same time. If you do prefer to type in your question, feel free to type it in the session chat and I will read it to the interns. Before we begin, I do want to remind everybody that this session is being recorded. And I will start the Q&A with a question for Jamisha. Your internship was in communities in school. What was something that you learned during your internship that was unexpected?
Um, I learned that actually community in school does more than just in-house outreach. They also help the parents as well. So Miss Livingston and a couple of other faculty and staff have gotten together, and for our Hispanic parents, they have a literature night. They come in, they read to them, and they help them speak English and write English. So community in school not just helping our kids, they're actually extending it to the families and the friends. And you can come in, and it's not just to Booker T. Washington, it's to the whole PISD. So that is awesome, and it was something that I was very interested in.
Great, thank you, Jamisha. Are there any other questions at the moment? Okay, so let's ask a question. Oh, go ahead, Jamisha.
I don't have a question. I just want to say, Nicolette, you did that. You had a plate full, and you still helped me answer questions throughout the semester. Just thank you. Good job. You
Thank
got
you.
to.
Okay, and we do have Tanaya. Do you have a question?
Okay. My question is going to be for Samantha. I'm just curious, where did you host the event that they allowed you to do outside of the hours, and how big was the turnout?
So I hosted it at a local coffee shop, and I had three families show up, and I know that's not a lot, but I feel like even helping one family, I would have been happy. Um,
Yeah, I agree. If you I always tell people that if you can just touch one person, then that's awesome. So I mean, don't just say just three families showed up. Three families showed up, and that's a lot. So it's more than none. So definitely that's a big success. Pat yourself on the back. That's awesome to put that together and to be able to help three people, three families, and they're gonna probably expand that and pass it on to someone else. So you never know. It's all about networking. So I'm sure they'll share the information with other people in their situation because normally when there are kids that are, they had disabilities, they have a community where they kind of get with other parents that are in that same situation. So I'm pretty sure that they will spread that word. So awesome job.
Thank you,
Thank
Tanaya.
you.
Okay, Nicolette, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a question for Samantha. One, what an amazing artifact to really like revamp an entire website. And I mean, in my own personal experience, I know it's frustrating to have to sift through so much information that is like foreign. So, I mean, have you noticed any impact? Has anybody talked to you about being able to access the website that you redesigned? And has it been easier for people to navigate?
I haven't heard anything from anyone. My supervisor is very happy with it, but that is on my list to do, to just ask the special education teachers within the district how do they feel about it. I know like at ARD meetings they have a QR code that they share with families that'll take them straight to that website. So I really do hope that it just makes
things a lot easier for these families.
I'll do one more follow-up question if you don't mind on that. On a level of frustration from 0 to probably 100, uh, how was it having to find the resources, or like you're calling and it's not as easy as it may seem, like that they reference, or not being able to get a hold of somebody with outdated information, and to think about like if people are actually looking for that in real time and need that information, need that assistance in real time. Did it help you come up with any solutions like to make that better?
So, for a lot of these programs, there's a very long wait time, and there's an automated press one for this, press two for this. Your wait time is 25 minutes, but it's really going to be an hour. So it was a little frustrating. Or calling and it being like, doo doo doo, this no longer exists, and it it was tough. But I'm glad that I kind of weeded all that out to save families looking for help the trouble of having to do that.
That's awesome. Really cool.
Thank you, Samantha. Um, let's see. Is there anyone else that has any questions? Hey, let's ask a question. Oh, okay. Let's ask a question to Nicolette. Let's see. Did your internship change your view of society?
Yes, 100%. I don't think that you can work with marginalized spaces and individuals in marginalized spaces, the homeless population, or experiencing any sort of marginalization aspect between race, gender, ageism, LGBTQ. The most impactful thing was culture humility for me, and understanding how I can contribute to those individuals. I don't share a lot of their same experiences, and that was what was really hard for me, is like, how can I help them if I don't understand? And that's, I had to ask a different question, and it was, how can I help them with what I understand and what I know? And it's really helped me to use my resources and what I have to give, to offer, in a place of cultural humility, to be able to empathize, or sympathize, not necessarily empathize because I don't have their experiences, but to see them where they're at and to be able to give them resources to hear them, to hear what they need, to know what they need, to know how to ask what they need, and how to help them find what they need, instead of just assuming, putting them in a category, like X, Y, and Z. I mean, the stipulation is if you're homeless, you have a drug problem. Like that's the first thing people think about. And that's like taboo. There's so much more to those experiencing homelessness. And so it's forever changed me. And I was really already a compassionate person, and I love anybody and everybody. And so it just really amplified that in me. That's just the greatest change I saw.
Yeah, Nicolette. So we do have a question on the chat from Samantha. Go ahead.
Okay, Nicolette. So my question is, I love how you just explained, doing what you can with what you know. But I guess when was your like aha moment that like it clicked and you fully understood? Like at what point during your internship did that happen?
Really, in my CITI training, that was one of the first things I did. And it talks a lot about human ethics, um, and how to do a needs assessment. And really, a needs assessment is for individuals. Like, yes, we're retaining data and research, but it's for them. It's to find out what it is that they need and how we can make an impactful solution for them, instead of just, like the standard, how are you? Are you doing okay? Like, if someone needs food, okay, great, we can give you a meal, but how do we make this self-sustaining, self-reliant? How do we give you food tomorrow and lasting? Like, how do we not make this food insecurity, you're fighting for your next meal, but how do we give you information that you can have security, not only just on food, but housing security, things like that, and how to help organizations in the community offer that better. So it's not only just those receiving services, it's those offering services too. And so seeing how that has to be like a very cohesive effort is what really changed me. Like it's about the giver and the receiver.
Thank you, Samantha and Nicolette. I do have another question from Tanaya on the chat. She wants to know, is CITI training, is that open to anyone?
Great question. It actually is offered through Lamar. I was able to receive it as a Lamar University student. If you're interested in this training, I would suggest to reach out to Dr. White and see how you can obtain that. And also, an invitation also now for you to talk to Dr. White about the think tank team, which is through the Center of Resiliency. And they do a lot of this work. They work a lot with the homeless community and those experiencing anything related to homelessness. It's resiliency, right? So they're serving and teaching people how to be self-reliant, and resilient. So it's definitely available. It is an extensive training. It took the training itself is 6 hours, and if you, as you pause and you go through it or you take your notes, it's going to be longer. So and it's sectioned, like each one is a specific amount of time. You can go through the next one, but it is amazing, and I would recommend doing it. And on my portfolio, which has been provided many times to everybody, you can click on the link for that. I have a link in there for it.
Okay, thank you, Nicolette. And does anyone else have any comments or questions? Okay, I do want to ask, oh, go ahead, Samantha.
I was just gonna say that I really enjoyed watching everybody's presentations, and I think that it's obvious that we have all learned a lot in our process, and we all did a really good job. And I'm proud of all of you guys. Good job, guys.
Thank you, Samantha. Everybody definitely did a great job. I do have another question. This one's going to be for Janisha. Um, what do you think was the hardest part of your internship?
The hardest part, actually, I worked with pre-K through second. I was at elementary, so they were actually easy to work with. The only thing was to get the parents involved. Some don't answer phones, some don't answer emails, or if we call to have a meeting with them, something happens and they never show. So that was the most difficult and frustrating part. I do know things happen. I don't have any kids, but I know if I did, if someone called me in school and say, "Hey, your child's having emotional breakdown," we've called a crisis team, we got CIS in here, I would come to their rescue. So that's kind of like the frustrating and emotional part for me. I cry all the time. So, but yeah, that was the most, it was tough for me. But besides that, my internship was great. My site coordinator, my supervisor, everything was actually perfect. We had a little bumps in the road, of course, but besides that, I loved it. I've applied and I actually got a interview coming up from Miss Jennifer to go work in Bowman for CIS. So fingers crossed.
That's awesome, Jamisha. Good luck. And just to wrap up, I'm going to ask one last question, and this one's going to be for Samantha. What advice would you give your future to future interns?
Future interns, I would give the advice of just being open-minded and be willing to try new things. Like it is going to be discouraging, and you're going to feel like underprepared or like you can't do it, but you can do it. And you're going to have support from your fellow classmates who are also interning. Dr. White is always extremely supportive. Your supervisor that you will have is going to be very supportive, and you can do it, and you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be great.
Thank you, Samantha. Jamisha, did you have a question or comment?
Yes, I just want to piggyback off that when she said frustration. My site coordinator, she would let me like file and everything, but as far as going to system or do anything, she would not. And it was the first thing she said. She's like, I don't want to sound mean or anything, but this is under my name, my social, so I will show you, but she wouldn't let me go into the system, type any surveys or anything. I would actually do her handwritten part. So it was kind of frustrating because it's like, I love CIS. I want to work here. I want to actually know how to put this in the system. Me just sitting behind you and kind of watching, I'm on hand. So I understand the frustration parts. And that was the only thing. But besides that, it was pretty good.
Thank you, Jamisha. Nicola, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna third echo on all of that. It's you could be taught any skill. Y'all are incredibly intelligent and smart. I mean, you're at your internship level, and those coming in to their internship level, you've already been through the ringer. So don't underestimate yourself. And everything in my internship was brand new to me. I had no experience in any of it. And I was very comfortable with the experience I'd had in my life. And I was hoping to shift into that kind of internship. No, that wasn't my opportunity. So I'm be proud of yourself and just learn and learn messy. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Learn messy.
Thank you, Nicola. Jamisha, was there another question you had, or was that just the same?
Oh no, I didn't even put my
No.
hand down.
Oh,
My
okay. That's it. Probably
apologies.
just there. Okay, guys. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay. Well, it does look like we are about out of time for the session. I do want to thank everyone who participating, and you guys asked great questions. And a big thank you to our wonderful presenters for sharing their internship experiences with us. Uh, when I do end the session, you will be back at the website where you originally entered the session. I do encourage everyone to review the conference schedule, then join us in the next session. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to see you guys in the next session.